because you've been putting in resumes and not getting enough response from them. Maybe you've been applying to jobs and getting ghosted. Maybe you get a little bit of a response, but not much. Well, this training here is to encourage you and help you get to the next level. So I want to take a step back first and ask you, what do you think is the goal of your resume? What is the goal of your resume? A lot of people think the goal is to get a job. Okay, is it really to get a tech job? So that is the connection in our mind. I have to put a resume out there in order to get a job. All right. Now that is partially true, but I'd like you to take a little step back and say, what is the very, very first goal of the resume? And I would encourage you to say, the goal of the resume is to get a response. And this goes back to some basic marketing principles. You know, when you're at the store and you're walking down the aisles, they craft boxes. We could change this to goal of cereal box. What's the goal of the cereal box design? You know, it is not to get you to buy the cereal. Sure, it is to get you to buy the cereal. But the very first job is to get noticed in the aisle. All right. So I think we can agree that there is an element of unless there is sort of brand awareness, you're going down the aisle to find some cereal in the grocery store, and you know General Mills. You like General Mills. Okay. So you're going to go to that section. Or you like the generic brand, you're going to go to that section. But aside from that, there is not an idea of how can I get people to buy the cereal box? There is the idea of the marketers and the design team. They should be thinking about, how can I just get the attention of people walking by? And the same thing is goal of the resume. We could call it the application as well, is to get noticed in the pile, not in the aisle, but in the pile of resumes, applications. So I'm calling them the same thing, whatever. Resumes and applications. Not a big deal, but the big deal is the goal of the resume is not to get the job. When you ask the resume, hey resume, can you do this for me? And you say, when you ask and you say something like, I'm going to do this shape. How about that? It's pretty cool. Hey, resume, get me a job. The resume buckles. There is nothing. The resume can't get you the job. The application can't get you the job. In fact, if it does, it's probably a job you're overqualified for. But what we can do, so let's go ahead and put, we don't want this, guys. We don't want this at all. So let's go ahead and drag one of these boxes up here. So how do we get the job? Well, the goal of the calls, interviews, is to, what is that? What is the job? What is the goal of the interviews? Well, you have a goal, and that's to get a job, but I'll tell you what the goal of the interviews is. Get a job, your view, but the company, hiring manager, recruiter, goal is to basically pick off, what do we call it? Reduce number of applicants. Or I could say this, disqualify you. So your goal is to get a job. But the goal of the company's goal in these interviews is not to give you a job. It's to make sure they can disqualify you from getting the job. And if they disqualify enough people, then they'll come down to some candidates. They keep breaking down the number of candidates into a manageable number because they don't go out in the world and try to find people. Maybe a recruiter sort of does that. But instead, they wait on everyone else to come to you and they are in charge. And that is part of the deception of this entire process here. A lot of people think the goal is to get you a job. And the resume's goal is not that. But when we think it is, it's too big of a job. So then we could come up here and say, hey, interview process, get me a job. But the problem with that is that's not what both parties agree to. The company believes your goal should be get noticed. Get a screening call, for example, or email. It's the first contact. The company hiring manager, recruiter job goal, see if it's going to be valuable to respond. All right. So putting on our company business hat helps us in this process. If you don't do that, you're going to be disappointed and your expectations will be set way over here, but the company is going to be over here, all right, in the interview. So we really, really do not want in this process to even expect that our interviews will get us a job. We need to help them, therefore, we need to help companies disqualify others. So, our MO here in application process to get into a tech job, many other jobs are similar, but specifically a tech job where there are tons of applicants, so many people, it's a huge place for opportunity. The ceiling is very, very high, and the pay is very good right now. Even with AI, the pay is very good, and the pay will keep going up, and AI will not take all of the jobs. Okay, that's just not going to happen. And if you think it is, well, either be corrected and wait and be corrected, or just watch and get out of the job market and make room for more people. That's what's happening. People are diving out because they're scared. So stick with it. There will be jobs. They will include AI. AI is a companion right now. AI eventually will take some jobs, but not all jobs. You just have to find the ones where humans are needed. So the modus operandus in application process should be for you. For you, your goal is, I want to proceed to the next level from wherever I am. So applying, you want to get to the response. Could be an email, could be a screening call, but definitely could be an email that says, hey, tell me more, and then they might try to disqualify you right there. So be careful. Applying to response. From a response from the company, your job then is to get your job without getting paid is to get to first call. First call's job, your MO, is to get to the second call. If there are technical interviews, tech interviews, whiteboard, the goal of that is to help them disqualify others by showing you are creative, confident, intelligent, and understanding the process of the company to eliminate others from the process. That's the job. I'll tell you what. Why would we want to understand this? Why would we want to understand this right here? Why would we go into a whiteboard or a technical interview or whatever and show that we understand the process of the company, that we're understanding of the business needs? The reason is, when you're hired, you will become part of the process, and your sympathy to their needs shows you can do the interview process. So very, very rarely, sometimes senior engineers will just automatically be thrown into the process, but you're leveling up in their minds when you show sympathy towards the company. All right, so stop putting out resumes expecting to get a job. Instead, craft your resume in such a way that you are trying to get noticed. All right, that's a huge, huge task to do, to simply back down, but it is what the resume is expected to do. Do not ask the resume to get you a job. Hope this has been helpful, and I hope you enjoy. If it has been helpful, subscribe for more or like this, and we'll see what happens. Have a great day.